Hi, welcome back. This is the next episode. I didn't even take 2 seconds in between saying the last sentence of the last episode to the first sentence of this one. We're back in the Novelist, if you couldn't tell, and we're going to read this note. Mr. and Mrs. Kaplan, after additional consideration, I'd like to augment my recommendation. I believe that the best course of action for Tommy's development would be continued tutoring throughout the school year. It would be important to coordinate with his teachers and make sure his lessons are aligned. As before, encouragement from both of you is a critical component. Mr. Kaplan, I have observed that Tommy looks to you in particular for validation, which I believe comes from a connection he's made with your profession. If at all possible, you should be a part of his tutoring, although Miss Kaplan is more than acceptable at aiding him as well. I hope I haven't overstepped my bounds by contacting you, but Tommy is a bright boy, and I think with the proper support, he can not only catch up, but excel. I understand that you will be leaving town shortly, but please don't hesitate to contact me by phone during the school year if I can be of help. Dr. Donald Samuels, Captain of the Sea. I don't know why I said that. It just seemed like the right thing to say at the given time. So, if you watched the last episode, Linda's grandmother died. Couldn't get to that lamp. And, let's see. Dan had to write some more on the chapter he was working on and send it to his publisher or editor, or I can't remember what he was. Mr. Kaplan, we have reached a decision and are pleased to offer you the position of Assistant Professor of Literature. We had many applicants for this profession, and after careful review, we feel that your history with the university and your status as a published author will give you a unique connection with our students. We apologize for the lateness of this decision, but administrative adjustments delayed our annual budget review, and the position was only recently approved for hire. Professor Strode will handle your course load until September 21st, at which point you will take over the classes. We will provide temporary housing for you during this speedy transition, but need your answer as soon as possible. Your offer letter is enclosed. Please sign and return at your earliest convenience. Tom Castle, Literature Department Chair, Hardest University. So, as I often do, I'm trying to shape what the decisions are going to be in this chapter before they're actually given to me. I'm not quite sure yet. Is this a new one? I believe it is. Yeah, as I was saying, I'm not... you son of a gun. Got a journal there, we got a journal there. This appears to be Grandma Joe, who has recently passed away. Are you gonna take a seat? Fair enough, I'll read this.
I just talked things over with Dan, and we really have some serious thinking to do. The job at Hardesty sounds like a great opportunity for him, but moving would be so hard on us. I really want to join Art for All, and after everything we've been through with Tommy, it would be better for him to have some stability. I could even go full-time if Dan found a steady job, though I know he can't do that if he takes on extra tutoring with Tommy, and I'd never fault him for that. If we stay in Laurenton and Dan works with Tommy, I could still do the program part-time. Either way, it'd be better for Tommy and me than moving. But I know that professorship would mean so much to Dan. Can't everything be simple just once?
Apparently not, because it would make it too easy of a game. Because this decision I'm going to have to make seems like it's going to be potentially the final and most story-changing decision yet.
This could be it. An associate professorship at Hardesty? It's entry-level, sure, but everyone has to start somewhere, and it's the perfect situation for writing. The sabbatical program alone makes the job worth it, and the thought of actually working with Professor May? Wait, I guess I'd be calling him Philip now. That'll take some getting used to. But moving's a big step. I can't imagine a new school with new kids would be easy for Tommy. I know staying in Laurenton would be better for him and Linda, but they aren't handing out professorships on the corner. This isn't the kind of offer you pass up without a very good reason. But I might have 2 good reasons. Tried to sleep on it last night. What a joke. You have to be able to sleep for that to work.
I'm not convinced I'm going to make the right decision on this one. Here, let's try and quit in her head right fast. Linda, where are your personifications of yourself so I can look at them and see what they're trying to tell me? Hi.
You can say it. If I got a real job.
I could even go full time if.
Okay, to be fair, if she was saying that,
I could even go full time if.
full time as a painter,
You can say it.
so being a painter is a real job, but being a writer is not. You both have very kind of artsy-fartsy jobs that kind of linger.
We just got back from the funeral. It was even harder than I expected, but it was moving to see just how many people loved Grandma Jo. She really was a special woman. Dan was there every step of the way, even though we got in a lot of trouble for missing that book signing. I don't think it's fair how mad they got at him about that. It was a funeral. But I guess that doesn't count for much in the business world.
Yeah, because, they get mad at you whenever you have a job, a real job, as a writer. Again, I'm not, dissing her or her profession as a painter. She's quite good at drawing birds in cages, but to the fact that she acts like his job isn't a real job compared to her painting. I mean, painting is considered normally as a hobby, just as much a hobby as writing is, so... Yeah. What do you think you're doing there? Writing? Maybe now you see how important it is. Let's see if we can't get into Dr. Professor Tommy's head here. Hello? Where are you? Why is he spending so much time in here now, I wonder? He didn't do that at the beginning of the game. Again, literally, if you remember last episode, we looked at him drawing this picture. I mean, I guess that's the game's way of telling you that I need to spend more time with this flippin' kid, but still. Wait, what? Why am I seeing you right now? Is this a glitch I just encountered? Okay, I think what happened here, because he's not a thing I'm supposed to be seeing right now. I think what happened was I started the memory as soon as he maybe was going to lay down on this couch, and it bugged him there. Because he's not actually supposed to be here.
What about my friends?
You'd make new ones, buddy.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be here. Just go ahead and lay down. Open your doors, please, so I can get in there. Oh shoot! I need to read. Don't mind me. Seriously. Wow, I can't believe I actually got that. I'm standing right next to this kid. Linda, I'm pleased to meet with you. By letter anyway. I'm surprised we've never met, considering how small the art community is. But from your letter, it sounds like you may not have been as active as you'd have liked for a few years. Reading. Regardless, I'm very excited to tell you more about our work here. At a high level, the program is simple. We're a collective of artists who use our work for the betterment of our city. We host fundraiser galleries, donate our work to charity auctions, and teach art classes. We offer both paid and unpaid courses, and all proceeds from the paid courses go to local charities, usually the food bank. Our free courses are part of a pioneer program we've recently started, where we provide a safe place for victims of violence, members of our local AA chapter, and even pro-less trying to get back on their feet. The program is still in its early stages, but we've been very pleased with the results. It's a very exciting time. Anyway, you'll find more details in the enclosed information packlet. I'd love to talk to you about joining in person when you return to Rachel Pittman, founder art for all. Good lord. Reading is so difficult. Why does anybody ever do it? Right. Oh. You walk through that door, you lucky son of a gun. I can't do that. And I'm the ghost in the house. What is it? Do you want... Send my second painting for full-time application. Now, to be fair, the letter you just got was about... Oh. Was about a charity... Like... It's like a charity job offer, it sounded like. It's the Hardest University, CEO Thomas Castle, 902, Bait... I don't know what that word is. I mean, it's like a street, but I don't know how to pronounce it. Not gonna bother.
There were days when I thought this moment would never come. When I finish writing this, I'm going to pack everything up and drop the manuscript in the mail. My palms are sweating just thinking about letting it go. I had no idea how hard it would be to finish this one. It took everything I had, and it's hard to look back over the summer without laughing. To think the plan was to get away from everything and just focus on the book. But you can't get away from yourself. Life doesn't give a damn about geography. I don't know when you'll get this or where we'll be when you do, or what you'll think. I know what I think, but objectivity left the building months ago. Some days I think this is the one. Other days I have a sick feeling in the pit of my stomach that says my career is over. All I can do is drop this in the mail and hope. Here goes.
Here goes indeed. I do hope I got him enough time working on his book that it's going to be a success of at least... oh, hi.
How long is the drive?
2 hours. We'd have to move.
Oh, you could just get up earlier. Go to bed earlier. Have less time in your day to do anything, you know, fun. I'm trying to... There we go.
Paul was mad, but he understood. It helped that I threw him a bone with the quarterly idea. I think it appealed to his competitive nature. He said he wasn't sure it would work, but I knew he was sandbagging. He probably took it as a personal challenge and called Brackett to pitch the idea as soon as we hung up.
Is this menu different? I think this is the same stupid thing. I've been eating the same food for weeks. No, I wanna exit the memory. Just drop the envelope in the mail. Alright, for his job thing. I read these, didn't I? Yeah, I did. What is... Where's Tommy? Are you in there? Don't look at me. Show my friends my new backpack at school. Alright. Is that everybody? Right. So now it's the critical decision making point. At which point I have to make a critical decision. Let's see. Do we give Dan his job opportunity? Do we let Linda have her painting career? Or do we have Tommy, I guess, go back to his original school? Now my question here is, if, for example, I have Tommy as my primary choice, and I have Dan, for example, be the secondary option, how does he halfway participate in the college thing? I don't know. Not really sure. I'm going to real quickly... wow, using the wrong controller there. Tab, there we go. Real quickly gonna reread this, because she might have given a hint as far as that's concerned.
I just talked things over with Dan, and we really...
No,
I
okay.
just talked things over with Dan.
I didn't really want to have her
We
reread the
some
whole
serious
thing.
thinking to do. The job at Hardesty
It's
sounds
hard
like
for
a
me to
great
read
opportunity for him,
what I want to
but
read.
it would be so hard on us.
If I could go
I
full time,
really
Dan.
want to join Art for All, and after everything we've been through with
Couldn't
Tommy,
afford
it would
to
be
exist.
better for him to have some stability. I could even go full-time if Dan found a steady job, though I know he can't do that if he takes on extra tutoring with Tommy, and I'd never fault him for that. If we stay in Laurenton and Dan works with Tommy, I could still do the program part-time. Either way, it'd be better for Tommy and me.
Okay, that's middle part was the part I was wanting to reread there. She did not describe what his doing it halfway would actually mean. No, wait, what do I have to... his is the envelope, hers is the painting, his is the backpack. Now, this one, I'm pretty sold on what the choice has to be. It's Tommy. We can't go any other way with this, because, I mean, they both have to suck it up on this fact. They had a kid for a reason, and they gotta take care of the kid first. Kid comes before everything else. So, bam, I don't care. Kid's getting it. So, there we go. You have a kid, you can't, especially one who's having troubles as it is. I don't know if he has some kind of learning disability of some kind or what, but you got to look after him first. And if you're going to be moving him out of a situation where he's doing all right and having him restart, that's not going to work out well. Do we have any journals? The last lady, I think, killed herself, so. This may be the last episode of this game. I'm not really sure at this point. I don't have any journals. I have a feeling that lady is no longer with us, and we're in a bit of a gap. Here's that letter. Now, the decision I have to make now is, do I want to compromise with Linda or Dan? Now, Linda, I can understand how she can do hers halfway. Dan's, I would like to support him. And did I already look in here? I think I did. I'd like to have him support him, but I don't know what that really means for him. So let's go for it, I guess. Is that not the right thing? Is it downstairs? It might be. Is my furnace just on? I thought I heard it click off. If it was, whoops, it wasn't supposed to be. Hopefully that hasn't been just humming in the background this whole time. Where's this? Is that envelope? Oh no, can I not pick his halfway? Was this a decision that was like all or nothing? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, I didn't realize I was picking a all or nothing. Okay, that clarifies my question. Right. Well, I'm fair with that being the final decision. It's about the kid in the end, so they have to make sure he does alright. Sure, we could get Dan. Dan can, like, let's see. Tommy is what, like, maybe 9 or something? 8, 9 area. So he might be a little younger than that. He might be like 7, 8. But I don't know. In 10 years he can go get that job as a professor. Yeah. Well, this is going to be the last episode, it turns out. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this series. We're going to finish this up and see how our final decision here has impacted the family as a whole. Hopefully things will stay together. They'll live happily, and both of them will understand my decision and their kid over both of their desires. Dan couldn't bear the thought of Tommy having another difficult year at school, so he committed to tutoring Tommy on a daily basis to help him catch up and eventually get ahead. Tommy was old enough to understand, even though that schoolwork wasn't fun, for his father making it easier and more improved as school grew. Blah blah. Father's love. I read the last word for once. There we go. Although Dan chose to focus on tutoring Tommy instead of making a part-time job staying in Laurenton, still meant Linda could join the art. Oh god, being around other artists helps her own work mature and paintings begin. You can read the rest on your own because I'm not going to finish it in time. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, Dan. Dan could barely get the words out when he called Hardiston to decline the offer. He knew they wouldn't care about his reasons, and he turned the job down with full knowledge that he might never receive such an offer again. You'll have to read the rest of this because even though I'm reading it relatively slow and at a good pace, I won't finish it in time. And that's how the Kaplan's summer in the house on the cliff came to an end. It was much more than just a single season on the coast. Dan's choices there would define the rest of his life. Come to define the rest of his life. That was the first one I've ever actually finished, I think. Dan sent his final draft to the Grove Field with a knot in his stomach. He knew it wasn't very good, and readers agreed. It sold poorly, oh man, and only published one more book after that, and it came and went without anyone much. I feel bad about that. I guess I didn't spend enough time on it. And by the summer's end, Tommy was a new child. He returned to school full of joy and became one of the most popular kids in his class. Though, unlike most of the cool kids, he remained friendly and grounded. By high school, he began getting national attention for his drawing ability. And after going one of the most prestigious art schools and blah 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 blah. I can't finish things. When they left the house, Dan and Linda's love was deeper than it had ever been. They spent the rest of their lives on an endless honeymoon, traveling and embracing life the way that few couples ever do. They grew old together, always secure and deep. Blah 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 blah. Can't finish. I just can't finish these. It goes too fast. And we'll look back on the summer from time to time and wonder why he had made the choices he had. He never quite shook the feeling that there was a voice in his head that had been more than just a voice. And in the quiet moments, oh my gosh, I'm not going to finish to imagine that he'd been a character in someone else's novel at the time, so I was almost sure of it. Now I'm like screaming at you as I try to finish these things. And there we go, we finished the game. I was pretty sure that we were going to finish it in 2 or 3 episodes. Here we have the credits going on here. Oh, God. I turned down the volume slightly while I finish up my end game speech. I quite enjoyed the game. It was a lot of reading, but then again, it was a book called The Novelist, so what do you expect? In the end, all in all, I'm relatively happy with the decisions I made. I suppose I could go through and play it again and lean more one way or the other, but I feel like I hit all the main key points and made the main key decisions where it mattered most. And in the end, the end story I got, I'm relatively happy with because, kid's happy, their relationship was good, and even though neither one of the parents got really the jobs that they specifically desired in the end, they had a good life based on the choices they made. So I'm happy overall. I keep thinking there's little specks on my screen, but it's just those little lines in between the bits of the thingy. Credits, that's what they're called. Anyway, I'm going to let the credits play through. You can enjoy what's left in the credits. Oh look, they actually tell you what fonts they use. Most games don't do that, I don't think. Anyway, I'm rambling. I hope you enjoyed. If you have another game you would like to see fill this slot on Sundays, by all means, let me know. And I think the credits are going to end by the time I say I'm done. So enjoy the rest of the credits, which is going to go for 10 seconds. So see you next time.